So, hello everybody. I'm very pleased to be here today and talk about bug bounty and how we do it at Swiss Post. Maybe some words about me. My name is Martina Schwab. I'm 28 years old. I studied computer science at FFOS with the focus on information security. And I am an employee at Swiss Post for 5 years, but I'm working in the security field now for about more than 2 years. As mentioned, I am currently the head of bug bounty, and I'm also coordinating penetration tests within Swiss Post. So, who are we in general? Of course, I'm not the only computer security expert within Swiss Post. We are actually, in my opinion, a pretty big team of 70 persons, all with a very, very different backgrounds. We have surprisingly lot of female workers or employees within the security field. We also have a lot of diversity within the age, from trainees that come from university to employees that have been within the company for more than 10, 15 years. So, what is our motivation? As you know, the security threats are constantly increasing. Our main sectors, logistics, public transport, e-voting, digital health, and digital post services and financial services. We see during the last few years that there's a constant threat that we as a company or as a team have to keep in check. This unfortunately is quite a challenge because the attackers always get more and more creative, and even with 70 people that working constantly on security, it is very hard to cover all the attack vectors. Additionally to the very broad sectors that we are covering at Swiss Post, we also have these very diverse trends which we see and also have to keep in touch. There's, of course, always the human factor, which could be a threat. There's phishing that is constantly getting more aggressive and is very, very visible within Swiss Post. We have the deepfakes that get better and better each year, and we have to learn how to counteract to these. We have privacy as a trend. More and more companies do or abuse maybe personal data, and also we have privacy advocates who push for stronger data protection. We have the topic about supply chains. The companies are more and more connected with others, with suppliers and partners. These links are a possible vulnerability, or could be a way for attackers to attack other bigger companies. For Swiss Post, also very important concerning digital health are all the health organizations. We saw that that organizations get more and more attacked with patient information that get stolen and are used as blackmail for ransom. We have cyber immunity and zero trust, which is a big, big topic at the moment at Swiss Post. We want that every asset is secure by itself. We don't trust the network. We need to secure the assets themselves. At the very least, but not last, we have all the industrial installation vehicles and small devices, which also are possible attack vectors and need to be covered. All these trends and factors actually causing our security strategy, one which is participative security. And bug bounty is one of the measurements to enable participative security. How is it working, or why are we doing it? As I mentioned, number of cyber attacks is increasing constantly, and it's very hard to keep up with the necessary knowledge and know-how to cover these attacks. On the other hand, we have a whole community of, let's say, ethical hackers or security researchers who have the knowledge and to share and improve systems. With the bug bounty, our goal is to encourage these ethical hackers to participate and share their knowledge with us, so we as a whole can improve our systems and also find our blind spots that we might have missed. For a bug bounty to work, we have the legal safe harbor, which kind of defines the framework in which ethical hacker can do his research on our systems without having to worry about any legal consequences. So I think most of you know what a bug bounty is. For those who don't, very short, what is a bug bounty, or what is a bug bounty hunter? A bug bounty hunter, he finds vulnerabilities or bugs. These bugs are found by these ethical hackers who do not wish to do any harm to a company, but on the other hand, they report the vulnerabilities or the bugs to the company, to the system, and receive a reward for their work. How does it work at Swisspost? Here's a very, very short diagram on how it works. On the first and the most important part is the hacker community, which finds and searches and finds vulnerabilities on our systems. These vulnerabilities are then reported. We have a triager who then checks these reports and to see if these vulnerabilities are reproducible and if they make sense. If a vulnerability is reproducible, it then comes to the bug bounty team, which in this case is my team. We then check the report on its criticality and then pay out a bounty accordingly. A report who is accepted then goes to the project team or the development team who is affected by said bug. They fix the vulnerability, report it back to us, and we then get in touch with the hacker who reported it to get verification about the fix. In case that a fix is verified, we can happily close it. In case that the vulnerability is not fixed or the hacker was able to find a bypass, we then again send it back to the project team until the bug is fixed completely. How is our process, or how do we do our bug bounty programs? So we don't do bug bounty programs and go public so everybody can try and hack it, our systems. This would be a lot of work on our side, and we try to also slowly get the project teams into bug bounty and its processes. So what we do, we always start with a private bug bounty, which is a closed bug bounty where only a number of hunters are invited and can do their tests. It has the big advantage that new services can get a hold and feel of how mature their services are, and also slowly learn the process of how bug bounty programs are working. As soon as we see that a service doesn't have as many reports, or most of the reports are fixed, and there's not a lot of exchanges on the service anymore, we then switch the service to a public bug bounty where everybody is invited to check out said service and test it. This is our main goal for every service that is within the bug bounty, because in that, there everybody can see the service, publicly exposed for everybody. So all users, customers can see, that we are doing bug bounty on a service, and also that it doesn't have as many reports and bugs anymore. So here a bit of history where we started actually. It all started at 2018 when we did our very first e-voting pit. Maybe some of you remembered it. It wasn't our first bug bounty program, but it did lay the fundament of it. Because there we first defined this legal safe harbor in which we have formulated the framework where or how hunters can search on our systems. We then, in 2018, November of 2018, we then started the first small POC, where we did a timely, limited bug bounty program with selected 5 services, which we believed, 8 services where we believed they were quite mature and safe. We then soon learned that wasn't the case. Within about a month, we had almost 50 high or critical vulnerabilities on these 8 services. So we have quite quickly learned the impact that bug bounties can have. But this was actually a very positive result, because we probably wouldn't have identified these 50 high critical vulnerabilities without the bug bounty, and then could initiate the actions to fix these. After this POC, we then started in 2020 our first official program, which isn't time limited. We then continuously added more services to the first 8 until 2021, where we started to move the first services to the public program. This was one of a bigger step for the whole company, because many of the operation teams were very worried that there would be thousands of hackers simultaneously attacking some services. But we quickly learned that we didn't have any bigger issues about the accessibility of our services, and were very well able to hold it up. So this was the past. Today is 2020. And what did we did this year? Well, as I said, our main goal is to go public with everything, and also all our services. One of the first steps to do so was this June, where we went to Le Hack in Paris. We did there a live hacking event where about 150 hackers that were there had the chance to hack all services of Swiss Post for a whole day. Also, this was a very, very discussed topic internally, because we didn't know all the services that are accessible or hosted by us. So we didn't know what to expect when telling the hackers, just go for it. But we were very pleased about the results. It seemed that it wasn't as easy anymore to find big bugs. We had at the end 22 new vulnerabilities that we accepted. And there was only one high and one critical issue on this day. So what this told us was that on one hand, the preparations over the last 3 years did carry fruits for us. We were able to improve many of our services, and also that we probably covered most of the very, very, very easy critical issues by now. After the LeHack, we were so happy with the results that we said that we want to go, we want to do a not non-time limited private bug bounty with this very, very big scope. So we started the post-wide bug bounty program, where over 900, we think over 900 subdomains are now part of the scope of our bug bounty program. We did switch the approach that we used to have in the past. We always recruited the services for the bug bounty. Now all the services are within the bug bounty program, except they have a very good reason not to be. At the moment, it's still a private program, so there's only a limited number that is invited on this private program, but we do plan to increase this number constantly until we can go full public. So maybe here's some numbers about what we did in these years. So within these, it's a bit more than 3 years now, we did receive 1,500 different reports. From these reports, we did accept 574, which means these are all new and new bugs that we planned to fix. 117 of these reports were either high or critical, so these were fixed ASAP. 247 were medium, and 210 were of low criticality. Also, what I found very interesting was the types of the bugs which were mostly found. For the high criticality vulnerabilities, these would be cross-site scripting, business logic errors, and indirect object references. I think that's right. So, especially for the business logic errors, these are the kind of vulnerabilities that are very, very hard to identify beforehand, because let's say automatic scannings or also sometimes penetration tests, because they don't have as much time for searching, can't always find these kind of vulnerabilities very easily. So what do we take from this? We saw that bug bounties does have impact on the maturity of our online services. By interacting with the outside ethical hack community, we were able to profit from their knowledge, from their experiences, and use these to find vulnerabilities and issues that we probably wouldn't have detected in another way. And also, another very positive effect that we had with these new reports that we received, we were able to take these reports and use these as real examples to train our developers on these kind of vulnerabilities. Through this, we were able to not just fix one issue in one service, but detect the same issue in different services and fix those too, even though they were not in the bug bounty initially. All these factors help us to improve our services and really push the security of SysPost to a new level. I think that's all for now. I'm a bit fast, so I have a lot of time for some questions. Yes? Sure, yeah.
So I have a question about how Bounty, like the Bounty program, influences long-term security strategy. Have you noticed, are you using the Bounty statistics and findings to feed into your secure development lifecycle? And that was the end of my question.
So if I can repeat your question, did the bug bounty programs have an impact on the strategy on how we do security within SysPost? Yes, so it did actually. As I mentioned very at the last, we do use the reports to train our developers. Because of that, we were able to detect some kind of vulnerabilities that we would have detected on our automatic scanners if we adjusted them correctly. So we did that, and through this we were able to detect some issues now also much more earlier in the development process. Also what we did, we created a best practice how to do secure development handout for each developer to check how they can improve their coding with a security perspective in mind. And maybe here first and
maybe using the microphone is better. I wonder, you mainly talk about websites. Do you also check your client applications, your server infrastructure, any other attack paths, or is it just, in apostrophes, just limited to web domains?
So, are we just checking services, business-facing services, or also products within SysPost through bug bounty?
Client apps such as
client apps. Mobile applications. Yes, actually, we not just do bug bounties on web services, but also on APIs, mobile applications. We did some bug bounties for e-voting also on source code, where it's publicly available. So there's not just web services, yes, but there is some restrictions. We so far couldn't do any bug bounties on products which are only accessible for internal use.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on getting post.ch into the future.
Thank you very much.
Hello. You said that you were also doing like traditional penetration test, and I was interested in your experience, how the findings of your like traditional pen test versus the result of the bug bounty program compares, and if you found the one or the other to be more effective, more cost efficient, maybe, or if you find different things with them.
So the question is, did I see differences between penetration testing and bug bounty?
Yeah, especially if you use like maybe the services of like traditional security company, where you like mandate penetration test for scope and maybe a set of days, etc.
Mm-hmm. So, in my experience, there is a difference, but it's very hard to compare both. Also, doing penetration tests and doing bug bounties, they don't necessarily have the same goal. For the penetration tests that we do, all our services are going through a penetration test before going live. The main goal on this is to get the services compliance, to have this minimum of security that we can offer before making them available for our customers. With the bug bounty, however, we really want to get more out, maybe find vulnerabilities that might not be found in a penetration test, because a penetration test is always time limited. They have maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, where they have this test window, and then they have to be finished and they can't go any further. So in the bug bounty, the hackers have much more time to really do some scanning, do some probing, try something, try it a week later. And what I believe is that, from the cost perspective, if a service isn't mature yet, or we don't know if it's mature yet, it's always better to do a penetration test first, because then you can really find the easy and low-hanging fruits first, which would also be probably found in a bug bounty, but it would probably cost more at the end.
Thank you.
We have time for one last question. No question. So thank you again, Martina. Please give another round of applause.
So maybe as a short add to, as I said, we do a public program. You are all invited to test it out. We also have some private programs. If you're also interested to them, come to me and we will see if we can get you into them. Thank you.